Hello, everyone. This is Nidal Haykal with the first live stream in 2021. First of all, I want to wish everyone a happy new year, a healthy one, and a safe one. My guest for today is the guy with the blue shirt. And who doesn't know the guy with the blue shirt? He helps figuring out how we can make our aspirations into action. My guest is Bruce Carnohan, who holds a treasure of knowledge and experience collected from 27 different industries and hundreds of process improvements. Please, everyone, let's welcome the guy in the blue shirt.
Hey, 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 good
Happy,
afternoon.
happy New Year!
What a great introduction. I think I need to hire you for all of my introductions. Thank you, Nidal.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for the support. It was amazing. And I want to tell everyone when I first contact you, to be
hmm
honest with you, I contact you and I was hoping, we're gonna just back and forth messaging. And when I
hmm
woke up and you said yes, let's do it, it was wrap up for the whole year. Thank you very much, Bruce,
Oh, you're welcome.
and welcome today.
Oh, you're good. All good. So I just want to let you know why I do that is that I got my LinkedIn live hosting back in the middle of 2020, and I actually had some LinkedIn live hosts actually help me as well. So it's kind of my little way to pay it forward and just show a little gratitude for everything that I've learned from them and also learn from being a host myself. So it's kind of cool being on the other side of the table. Actually, it's I like it. It's less stressful.
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome, and happy New Year to you.
Sure.
The guy with the blue shirt. This is my next question. My
hmm
first question is gonna be: we left 2020 behind us, and I've seen the fancy dinner you was having, celebrating. What happened to the lobsters?
Well, to share a little, my wife is from the Philippines and she's an extraordinary creative young lady and also she loves to cook. So she loves seafood and unfortunately I like seafood but it doesn't like me. So I have to be real careful with sometimes I get allergies, sometimes I don't. So I kind of usually leave it alone. So she did her favorite, which is the lobster tail. And then she made for me a traditional, what they call lechon, which is a pork delicacy, which has got a very crispy skin to it. So not for everybody, but anyway, that was our feast along with plenty of fruit and mushrooms and some au jus that she also made from all of the cooking juices.
That, that's so delicious.
Oh
There was a lot of love and happiness, and hopefully this coming year is gonna be full, of health and wealth and prosperity to everyone. Uh, Bruce, how was 2020 with you? I know we suffered a lot of negativity, but there must be some positivity, and I think you are the best one to tell us about the positivity of 2021 20.
well, thank you. Yeah. So, of course, the year started kind of all guns blazing, like it did for most people. And in fact, I was on a pathway to be continually hosting what we call LinkedIn Locals, and that is a special form of in person networking with other like minded people from LinkedIn. And I also have a corporate job as well, which some people don't know that, but I do. So everything was going great until I think it was March the 19th when the California state government started to announce pretty radical restrictions. And we've pretty much been on pretty tough restrictions ever since March the 19th. So unlike other people's states and countries, we're entering our 10th month of very restrictive practices. So the positivity, though, is that, I needed to learn some new stuff. I needed to help people learn new stuff as well, and I knew that. So the actual pandemic forced my hand. So I took the opportunity to learn a lot of new digital tools and a lot of new ways to network other than in person. So those are the big positivities. And then the other thing I did, I got this idea from Tisha Maria Pelletier, is I also listed my top 20 accomplishments when I look back. So I've got that. Actually, that list is behind me. You can see on my vision board there. I'm going to be updating my vision board, and I'm going to be adding that top 20 accomplishments list to my vision board, because I think it's really important for us to step back and recognize that even in difficult times, you can still do some great things.
So this list is in front of you all the time.
It will be in front of me all the time. It's written literally in a Sharpie. I just scratched it down on a piece of rolled paper. So I don't want to make it fancy, because I try and live a simpler, faster, better lifestyle, and that's what I mentor and coach people to do too. So sometimes simpler is better, right?
Exactly. Yes. Are you gonna share it with the audience, the 20 achievements of 2020?
Yeah, I could. You want me to grab it or just share it as a follow-up post? I don't mind. Which do you prefer?
Like I prefer to do it like a post, like this. We can always keep it and learn from it.
Okay.
Definitely, there's something impressive about it.
Here, well, let's have a look. Let me grab it.
Let's have a look. Yes.
Well, actually, what I was going to say is, why don't you pick a number between 1 and 20, and I'll tell you what it is. So this is it. It's all handwritten.
My favorite number is 11, and my wife's is 4. So you pick.
Oh, okay.
Because she's gonna ask me why you didn't pick 4.
We better do the wifey's then. Actually, my number 4 was helping other connections to either learn or prosper or grow, or helping other connections find additional resources here on LinkedIn. So a lot of people are a multiple platform user. I'm not. I stick with LinkedIn and I extend to YouTube. Those are the only two business social media platforms that I use right now.
And I'm a live example for number 4. I'm.
You are.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I know, Bruce. You mentioned this a lot. I went almost through all your live sessions you did, and everyone asked you how you became the guy in the blue shirt. Would you give me the privilege to mention it
Oh, sure.
the way you would like on this live session? Because
Yeah.
we are live also with YouTube.
Yeah, and that's good, because I'll make sure you have my YouTube channel so that we can cross-subscribe with each other. So if people don't know that, if you have a YouTube channel and you have a connection or a host, if you cross-subscribe to each other's channels, then it helps both people. So a lot of people don't realize that. So
Definitely, we're gonna do that.
for sure. Anyway, the guy in the blue shirt, it actually started 14 years ago. And 14 years ago, in 2006, I was at a place in my career where I was broken and broke. So those two things. And I happened to meet a lady in Dallas, Texas. I was living in Dallas, Texas at the time. Her name is Dee Dee Leahy, and Dee Dee said, "Hey, have you ever been to a networking meeting?" And I said, "What is one of those?" That's how naive I was. She said, "You mean you've never been to a business networking meeting here in Dallas?" And I said, "No." She said, "Well, there's a lunch tomorrow. We happen to live in the same zip code." She said, "I'll swing by and pick you up." And she said, "Oh, by the way, wear a blue shirt."
Wow.
So Dee Dee swung by and picked me up. We went to the luncheon. Within 30 seconds, she dropped me off at the table I was sitting at, and I didn't know she was sitting at a different table. So, first principle of networking is divide and conquer, right? And I didn't know that. So, I was at this table just being a guest, listening mainly to what other people were saying. So, on the car ride home, obviously I thanked her. And I said, why did you suggest I wore a blue shirt? And she said, well, in Dallas, it's a very trusting color, and the electric blue, because I have electric blue eyes, it makes your eyes pop and it makes you more memorable, so that even if people don't remember your name, they'll remember the blue shirt. Anyway, so from 2006 all the way up to 2019, if I ever went to a networking event, or I was thought I might be on camera or in pictures at a business event, I would wear, electric blue shirt. And I have a variety, everything from t-shirts, polo shirts, more of a dress shirt like this one today. Um, and fast forward to last fall, I started to go to LinkedIn local Los Angeles in-person networking meeting. And I met a lady called Gracie Ruth Melendez. And Gracie and I also went to a couple of meetings thereafter, and Gracie could never remember my name. So we were doing something, and I just heard her say out of one ear like this. I wasn't listening in, but I heard her say, she said, oh, go ask that guy in the blue shirt. He'll give you the answer to that. Anyway, and then a month later, which was earlier in 2020, I went to help Gracie, who had set up her own LinkedIn local group in Pasadena. So I went and I sponsored the buffet and just went to support her. And in the introductions, again, she couldn't remember my last name. So she said, oh, meet Bruce. He's the sponsor, the guy in the blue shirt. So the following day, I thought, you know what? It obviously means something to some people. So I extended the opportunity to add that to my LinkedIn profile. And that's it. So 14 years in the making. There's some other reasons why the electric blue color is good for me, but but that's the genesis of my brand, the guy in the blue shirt.
You should patent this term. It's
Maybe I should copyright it. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's really amazing. Jeanette Calaruso, she checked in and she's saying, "Love this story, Bruce. The guy in the blue shirt."
Jeanette, yes, Jeanette is in Northern California, and I think she's heading to the snowfields with her husband. So she said she would hop on while her hubby drives the car. They're going to go play in the snow, I believe, today.
Yeah, I think Jeanette, it's time to stay home. She's dancing a lot outside, so I love the vibes she brings. She's amazing.
Oh, Jeanette has all sorts of vibes, but super sharp. What a great success story. Jeanette found herself in a situation where she turned to LinkedIn in the middle of 2020, and what a great role model. If anyone wants to, or if anyone doubts the power of LinkedIn, then they really just need to go back and look at Jeanette's story, and they would never doubt it from that point on. She's done an amazing job.
She's a live example for success. Like
Oh,
I literally remember when she started the videos and the lives, and
mhm.
how now she's doing it. She's a pro.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is she's a strong believer in collaboration. So she's very smart at finding other people to help her do all of the things that it takes to, be out there and be in front of the pack. And it takes a lot of effort. So she's real smart at finding all of that opportunity, as it were.
She was one of your guests, right?
Yes, she was. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have another opportunity later, probably towards the end of the first quarter, 2021. I've already got my January filled up. I'm actually going to be doing 2 spots next quarter, which is a Tuesday and a Friday, both at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. So
Wow, you have a busy year already planning for the second quarter.
well, quarter one, as I said, I got January, all the spots are filled up. I've got half of my February spots filled up. So if people are seeing this and they're a business owner or entrepreneur, or they hire high potential team members or leaders, then you will be a great person that I would like to feature. So
I would love to.
yeah, you can come back on the Dell anytime.
Thank you very much. This is not strange from all the support you are showing right now. It's live support. Um, uh,
Support. That means something else in other people's. Hopefully, we don't need life support in real term. Like a
I,
yeah,
I'm sorry for the expression. It's misleading. Live session support.
right. Yeah, not as in needing to be resuscitated, right?
Yeah, I've been there. My first live, I said ending the live. I said now I'm gonna end my live, and then when I was watching the playback, I said, "Oh my God, I should get arrested for that."
Well, hopefully somebody proactively contacted the help center and said, "Hey, just check out this guy. Is not going to."
It's going to end his live. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
So,
actually, I've noticed that as something that LinkedIn has added as, if you have a concern about somebody's profile or their content, you can actually send them a note
you can.
saying,
Yeah.
I think this person's in danger. So that was an awesome move by LinkedIn to do that.
Bruce, how do you see the platform LinkedIn? I know you only have social media presence through LinkedIn and YouTube, as you mentioned earlier. How do you see the platform? Do you see it's different from a year ago to now? It's more. Uh, it's a real social platform rather
Right,
than it used to be, like you have to be serious on the platform or you get kicked out.
right.
Like it's all about resumes and jobs. Now you see a lot of life leads, you see mentor leads. How
Mhm.
do you see the platform?
Yeah, I think LinkedIn have done an outstanding job of talk about adopting and adapting to the real life situation, right? Obviously, we've had a lot to deal with in 2020, a lot of serious issues. So I think they've realized that if you can still have fun and be professional, and you can still have fun and address serious issues. So they've done an amazing job of that. I love their technical team must be really on it because, as you know, and you mentioned in the introduction, I do process improvement work, and a lot of their processes they've really cleaned up. And so a great example on your smartphone for the birthday celebrations, you used to have to do 3 or 4 clicks to go send a message to that person. Well, they've made it simpler, faster, better, where you just get the list and you can press one button, you can go right down the list. So what? Well, for busy people like me that have multiple roles, that saves me anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes every day just reaching out to people to celebrate their birthdays. And again, so that's how the math works in terms of cleaning up a process. If it's saving me 2 to 5 minutes a day, if you multiply that by 34 million LinkedIn active users, look at the time that they.
That's a lot of time, yeah, saving.
Yeah, right. And again, people don't get that about processes. They think, oh, well, it is what it is. But I'm a big believer that you can push the envelope to really clean up processes, even if they look really, really good and they work really, really well. There's still opportunity for a marginal better improvement. And again, it's outstanding what can happen if you do that. In terms of where I see it going, I think, again, LinkedIn seem to have their finger on the pulse. And I'm going to be intrigued to see what other processes they introduce in 2021. So I don't, I don't go to LinkedIn, their head offices. I would like to do that one day, but we'll see what comes up. So if anyone's watching this and they know some of the future developments are coming on LinkedIn, and have at it, share away. So,
and I might be driving Bruce to the headquarters. Don't
oh,
forget
really?
about me.
In where? The one on the West Coast, or?
But anywhere, I can. The most important thing is I'm with you. Don't forget about me.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that would be awesome. I don't know how you get invited. I know there are some people, some of my connections are brand ambassadors for LinkedIn. So I don't know how you get to
Get invited.
be at that status with LinkedIn. So,
You mentioned your process, the process cleanup,
mhm.
and I would love if you can tell us about you name it on your webpage, the Carnohan process, and it's simpler, faster, and better,
Correct.
which works on simplifying work, saving time and money, and designing a new process.
Hmm.
Can you tell us more about this cleanup process?
Right. So again, a lot of people don't. So process cleanup is a methodology or a thinking process. So you can take any existing process and find ways to improve it, or like we've had to do it since 2020. If a process doesn't exist, you can also use the process cleanup approach to put in place new processes. Now, if you have the luxury of putting in place new processes, I always mentor and coach people to think, okay, what's the simplest, fastest, best way to set this process up so that number one, it can be sustainable without too much effort.
Mhm.
And what I found is that every piece of the process you can put into one of the buckets, which is, okay, if I'm looking at the front end of my process and it's a little complicated, how could I take the front end of my process, and it might be order taking, or it might be producing kits, or it might be, it doesn't really matter what the process is, but if it's complicated, you can put that, okay, this is a candidate to make it simpler. And what I found is that to make a process simpler or faster or better, what you've got to do is either reduce or eliminate wasted process steps, time, and money, or resources. So sometimes it may not be money, it may be somebody else's resource. So like good example for that is if I asked you to book an appointment with me, Nidal, and I sent you my link and
Mhm.
my link didn't work, then what I'm doing is I'm depleting your time resources because my process didn't work. So it's a little complicated sometimes, but people don't understand that resource depletion is a huge piece of making processes work better. So
So basically, it's a company's area, or it works with executives and leaders and CEOs.
the cool thing about my simpler, faster, better methodology is it's based on more than 40 years of proven implementation projects. So I've either led the project or done the project or designed the project. So because it's proven time and time again that it can be applied to any process. So an individual can use it for their process, all the way up to a large corporation can use it for all of their functional teams and everything in between. So, and it's not restricted to any industry because, again, I'm a little bit unusual that I worked doing process improvement in the state agency, not for profit sector for almost 5 years, as well as being in a for profit environment. So, doing process improvement in a not for profit environment or state agency is totally different than, in a for profit organization. but the method is the same, and that's what people don't always understand. That we're more alike than we are disalike, and people don't recognize that sometimes.
So it's basically a fit for it's a general fit, no matter what the organization is going through their process.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to analyze what do they have problems. Uh,
Well, yeah, part of the technique is to do an analysis. So I have different approaches. I have what I call a sprint light, which is a 5 session, 80-minute virtual session over 4 weeks, where you would just look at one specific process, either an existing process or
uh,
one specific process that is not in place that needs to be in place. So that's what I call a sprint light, and that's the kind of minimal process product offering. My most expansive one is where it would last over a 3 to 4 month period of time, and
well,
it would be multiple sessions, but and you would address more than one processes. In fact, normally you address a lot of interwoven complex processes during that whole thing. And obviously that takes a lot more effort, and it takes a lot more commitment, and it takes more investment. So
but do you, Bruce? Do you develop this process yourself?
yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, it's based upon. I actually was a co-author of a textbook,
Mhm.
um, and the textbook was written on implementing 5 years worth of process improvements in the service-based industry and the assembly manufacturing-based industry. So, again, it doesn't have to be any particular
Any
product.
particular organization? Yes.
Yeah. But so yeah, it's time tested, it's repetitive, it always works. The thing that stops it from working is the person that I'm or persons I'm working with. It's not me that stops it from working, it's them.
So it's 100% guaranteed results.
It is.
It
And in fact,
depends how they follow the process.
yes, well, follow the process, and they also have to commit to doing, as I call it, the homework between each weekly session. Because if they don't do the homework, then they don't get to the next step in the process. So,
Oh, wonderful. Um, uh, does hardworking mean anything to the guy in the blue shirt? Do you think success can be achieved without hard working? Like you see, LinkedIn, for example, it's a huge platform. Do you think like by liking and posting, we're gonna succeed, or you have to bring something value, something different? Do you still think that there is a room with hard working to be successful?
yeah, it's funny because you see a lot of really good success stories, but and the results are incredible. And I read some stuff recently, and I can't remember who it was that was posting. It said, "Yeah, well, my overnight success only took me 17 years to get here." Right? So, so
What
people don't always see all of the activity and effort, and then I have another guy that I work closely with, and he said, "Bruce, don't confuse effort with results." So you can be working really, really hard on a really, really ineffective approach, and you won't get the results. So again, the key is a combination. It's having the right process with the right level of work and making sure that you do. Consistency is the number one piece of the puzzle. And what I would recommend is consistency starts with cross engaging with people's content, or people that you know, or people you may have worked for or work with, or family members. What the best way to practice the hard work that it takes and the discipline that it takes is to start with cross engaging. And then once you've done cross engaging, that gives you kind of the confidence, particularly if you're new and you may not be as confident, to start creating and posting your own content. And see, everybody's story is unique. And so everybody's worth is value. And a lot of people, they talk themselves out of sharing what they know because they don't value what they know.
So there is no success without hard working. It's
Um, I would say a very, very small percentage is luck, and circumstances that create the luck. But most of it comes from most people that are successful. If you really took apart their process, it's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of uh, being okay to fail, but doing what I call guided lessons learned from that failure, and then putting those, making sure you put the things you learn back into practice again and not give up. So persistence, I think, is probably as equally important as the discipline to consistently do something.
yeah, do you think it's a subjective or objective? Like
Uh,
if
well, it depends how you want to measure success. So, setting up the key performance indicators are pretty unique usually to an individual, but there are patterns of things you can do. If you don't know where you're going, then you don't know where you've come from. So that's really important. So you got to have a very strong vision of where do you want to go. And then you've got to have really good discipline in the steps that you take every day to get from where you are now to where you want to go. So I tell people it's like planning a vacation. Like if I wanted to come to New York to see you, and I didn't know I was in Canyon Country, California, then it's really hard for me to plan a route to get to you if I don't know where I am. So, if I was in St. Louis, Missouri, which is where I first moved to when I came to the US, my route to get to you in New York is very different than my route from Canyon Country, California. So,
exactly, exactly. Uh, the guy in the blue shirt, did the social media help you uh, personally and professionally?
uh, it's an interesting phenomena. So like others, I do get some negative press. I do get some negative folks kind of come after me. I'm not sure why, but
You got negativity on the platform?
oh, sure, yeah, but I ignore it or I just report them and disconnect now. So I'm a lot more confident. So the plus thing that comes is it builds your confidence and it helps you really clarify what you're all about and what you want to do and how you serve with other people, serving other people to basically sell what you offer. And I know people don't like talking about that word selling. I'm not a big proponent of that, but what I realize is that if I serve the right people consistently enough, then I will sell my support to them and they'll see value in it.
There is a method that says that we are always in a state of selling, whether
Mhm.
you are selling, no matter what you are doing, even if you are mentoring, you are selling.
Right, absolutely.
Are you a fan of this theory?
Yeah, I think we learn it as a kid, as a child. My wife looks after a boy that was 4 days old when she first started looking after him, and he's now 20 months old, and he's figured out how to sell what he wants to her. And she takes videos of it. He's very persuasive. He's figured out, and he knows also the things that he can't persuade her to do. So yeah, he's already figured out how to sell what he wants to get done. It's very impressive.
So
He's smart as well, which makes it even more entertaining because he's very deliberate about it as well. So yeah, I think as a kid we learn how to sell and market ourselves for what we want.
So it could be it's instinct. Like we by instinct, we all in the sales business.
Yeah. Well, maybe the instinct is survival, but through serving, we end up selling to people that we want to work with. So maybe it's a multiple step, a lot of S's there. So survival equals selling equals serving, equals supporting others, and it becomes a win-win. The bottom line is I want to help people that value, and I'm going to be able to applaud them when they get to the results that they want. I don't want to work with people that don't value, or they just complain about wanting to do the work. That's not what I want. So
We were chatting about the your live guests, and you have over almost 40 guests in 6 months.
mhm.
That's a huge number, and that's a solid presence on social media. Do you have any other projects for the 2021? Should we expect more from the guy in the blue shirt?
Absolutely. So, literally, I before I came on with you, I was working on my Q1 2021, some of my micro goals, not the bigger goals.
No, oh,
And in fact, I work with a meaningful connection on helping me with clarity. Actually, a couple of people, but I have a session with her tomorrow. Her name's Connie, and that will be kind of the wrap up, just to have her independently check that my goals are realistic and they're achievable, and they're also in alignment with what she knows about me and the way that I want to serve others. So yeah, it's really important to, in my mind, to have a coach or a mentor or whatever you want to call them. It doesn't matter, but getting that third party viewpoint is so valuable.
exactly. Yeah, it's very valuable.
But I can answer your question. So more to come. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'd rather tease people what's going to
Yeah.
come
I'm
because.
teased. I'm already teased.
But in terms of LinkedIn Live, by the end of January, my goal is to have my first quarter filled up, and that would be for a Tuesday and a Friday spot at 4:30 Pacific. I'm about halfway there. So I'm pretty confident I'm going to hit that goal. The second goal is I collaborate with Gracie Ruth Melendez. She's a co-host, and we just set up the dates for our LinkedIn local Southern California virtual events, and that's going to be kicking off on January the 28th, and we've got the February and March dates lined up. I have the speakers lined up for the learn piece of what we do in our LinkedIn local virtual events. And so if somebody wants to know more about that, it's January the 28th. It's ideally for Southern California connections, and we start at 6:30 p.m. and it's always on a Thursday. So it's the fourth Thursday of the month. So if people are seeing this and they want more info, they can just DM me or DM Gracie Ruth Melendez. So
that's a busy schedule, Bruce.
yeah, well, and I also have a corporate job as well. So lot going on always.
I want to just ask two more questions because
Sure.
I don't want to hold you the whole time. I know your busy schedule. Um, uh, what's about time management?
That is
Me, me
great.
personally, I still need a lot to manage my time. It's
Yeah.
a it's a gift for whoever master doing it. It's really a gift. What's the story with your time management? How do you do it?
So back to my method, simpler, faster, better, is that I have to be a product of my own process. Otherwise, how can I mentor and coach others, right? It would be duplicity in my part. Well, what I found is that time management also comes with picking the right simple tools. So my time management has improved immensely since I pay for the Calendly process, the basic level, the premium level, I should say. I also pay for the Zoom process. And when you do those two things, you can do integration with your Google schedule. So when you integrate all those tools together, and I'll give you an example, my average time to book an appointment with somebody, whether it be a phone call or Zoom, before that integration was about 12 minutes. Now I can get that done in probably 2 to 3 minutes. And the real key thing is for the person that you're inviting to spend time with you, it takes them 3 clicks.
Wow.
So that's the key thing with time management tools. If you want to pick tools that ideally get you a result in 3 clicks or less. So that's kind of a golden rule that, and if it takes you 5 clicks, and hey, there's a great opportunity for a process cleanup to see if you can get it back to 3 clicks. And then the other thing is having a discipline around your own schedule. Don't, we always have unplanned activities. So what I do is I leave somewhere between 50 to 60% of my time as what I call flexible. So I don't book myself up like morning to night, every minute, every day. You've got to have flex time in your schedule to account for truly urgent or immediate issues.
You mean you don't go by the minute? You keep spaces around for your schedule.
Yeah, it's called flex time.
Yeah.
So now sometimes I actually book an appointment with myself for that flex time,
Mhm.
but it depends. It depends how long I need to set aside. So like for my own goal setting, I actually made appointments for myself in my Google schedule so that I didn't schedule Zoom or other phone calls on top of those at that time. So
That's a great lead. I want to thank Loni. I think
Lonnie.
I streamed her comments, and the last one was Bruce always finds the time to help. He's so generous and kind. I'm a I'm a live example, Loni.
Lonnie is a very interesting and talk about an meaningful connection. So again, 2020 for me, I think my uppermost accomplishment is I got to spend time with people that have now become meaningful connections. And what I mean by a meaningful connection is somebody that you want to spend time with, and or when you ask them for help, they'll spend time with you. And it's about regular, deep and wide communications with them. So I have 18 to 25 LinkedIn connections that I pretty much communicate with every day.
Wow, I wish I'm on this list.
Go.
I wish I'm on this list, Bruce.
I can add you, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you. It means the world to me. My last question: does the guy in the blue shirt fear anything? Like me personally, I always afraid from, drowning in my comfort zone. Do you have any fear?
Fear is an interesting thing. The fears I have are usually manufactured here for me, and they're not really real.
What should I do?
Well, it's back to that instinct, right? We talked about survival earlier. Unfortunately, we are hardwired, and I think men are wired differently than women. So hang on, women, don't if you see this, don't get all over my case. But I have 4 sisters, and I used to have a mom and a grandmother. So I was brought up in an all-female household. So I have some
You're lucky.
basis for saying that.
You're lucky, Bruce.
Well, Yes, I am lucky, but also it was a tough environment. Being the only boy in an all-female household is a different set of circumstances. Anyway, the point about that is that I think men's wiring, a hereditary level, is we are more geared towards self-survival. And not that women aren't, it's just that I believe there's some harder wiring. So the fear comes from if you see or believe your survival is at risk. And that's when we create this inside of here. Um, an actual physical fear is I don't like heights. And the way I got over that is I skydived once for a dare. So I jumped out of an aeroplane with a guy in tandem at 11,000 square feet. It's 11,000 feet in the air. So that was, I wouldn't do it again, but I faced my fear on doing that. And then the other thing I did is earlier in my career, I did an advanced leadership training course. And it was in Madison, Wisconsin in January when it was snowing and raining. And 2/3 of the course was 35 feet off the ground. So,
Wow.
and I spent about 2.5 days, 35 foot in the air for 6 hours a day on this advanced leadership training course that was run by two
That
ex.
was that was a big challenge.
It it wasn't it wasn't comfortable, put it that way. But hey, I survived. You know, it's back to I survived, and I got stuck. I mean, I remember clearly one exercise we were doing. I was halfway across this rope system where I was relying on somebody that I hadn't worked with before to pull me across on the rope, and the ropes got stuck because it was freezing cold. So I'm literally dangling 35 feet off the ground, and one of the instructors, you know, I was trembling, I was falling apart. One of the instructors jumped in and came and rescued me, and it was. And he said, "See, it's okay." And they said that they hadn't lost anyone before on the course. So
You
you
fa-
gotta trust people sometimes.
you faced your fears in that.
I face my fear of heights now. Am I still skittish about fear of heights? Yes. Do I go out of my way to do that? No. but, but I can't. I know I can do it if I have to. Put it that way.
With this, Bruce, I really want to wish you all the best within this new year. It's still
Mm-hmm.
fresh. Wishing you all the health and wealth and progress. And I can't thank you enough for being with me. And is this your first time you are a guest?
Actually, it's the first time in 2021, so thank you. I like doing first.
So I know what I'm gonna put on my 20 list for 2021, like yours.
Well,
The
which is what?
which is gonna be the guy in the blue shirt was with me the first live in 2021.
Ah,
It's
okay.
gonna be my first achievement for the year.
Yep. Well, keep good track because that's the other thing is we don't in the hurry up and in the activity. There's a lot of distractions in our new world. You know, just remember to jot things down so that you can come back to it. Old fashioned, you know, pen and paper, jot it down. That works best for me. Right.
Yeah,
And for you too.
I'm trying to be digital as I can, but there should be a pen, a paper, and I always fight with my kids when they are studying through this.
Hmm.
The guy in the blue shirt, Bruce Carnohan, thank you very much for being with me today.
All right.
Uh, I learned a lot, and I wish you would accept my friendship forever. Thank
Oh,
you.
no problem. Thank you for having me. Do you want me to hang on for?
Uh, I can do it from here. Thank you,
Okay.
and stay safe. We will wait for your leads from your list.
Absolutely.
Have a wonderful evening.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.
So, everyone, this was the guy in the blue shirt, Bruce Carnohan. Amazing guest. Wishing him all the best. I want to, as usual, end this live stream through LinkedIn and YouTube with a saying the best time to start is now. Everybody, Happy New Year. And this is Nidal Haykal.